G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome back to another subscriber replay, and today we are driving out with Commander Wolf. Now today's match, small spoiler ahead, is an example of sometimes no matter how hard you carry, it's just not enough. But what's really interesting about this particular replay is the vehicles that Commander Wolf is actually carrying in. Now I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation here, but this is the C1 Ariete. Yeah, I'm almost positive I didn't get that right. But anyways, it's rank 6, battle rating 9.7, and it's currently the top tank in the Italian tree. And it is a nasty piece of work that people have been overlooking. And Commander Wolf is just working the corner here, just waiting for him to pop himself out. There's the shot. Straight through the lower front plate, and Abrams down. We're going to see a lot of Abrams go down in this particular video. But first, what's so special about the C1? Why do I think people are overlooking it? Well, it's because of what it looks like and what it appears to be versus what it actually is. At a casual glance, the C1 appears to be very similar to the American Premium XM1. However, noticeably not quite as good in a couple of areas. Its gun traverse is a couple of degrees slower at stock. 23.8 for the C1 versus 28 for the XM1. At 65 kilometers an hour listed as stock, its top speed is also noticeably lower than the XM1. So it looks, when you just have a first glance at this thing, like it's just an Italian XM1 that's just worse than the American Premium. But it has a 120mm gun, and it can fire the Leopard 2's DM33 APFS DS round, which at 481mm of penetration is the second highest APFS DS available in War Thunder, with only the Abrams M829 round at 493mm of penetration actually beating it out. And more than that, this tank is only 2/3 of the size of both Abrams and Leopard 2, and it has higher gun elevation and depression, at -10 to 20 degrees. It's only a degree extra, but when you're talking about gun depression, particularly at this battle rating, 1 degree can be the difference between you having to expose your tank to get the shot and being able to take the shot safely, which is unfortunately a situation that Commander Wolf is having a problem with at the moment. He has been disabled. He's being hit from 3 different directions at the moment. The T-64 directly ahead, he's got a T-80 in the park to his right-hand side, and he does have another T-80 approaching from the rear. And while he does in those last few seconds manage to pop the T-64, the T-80 does take him out. So, 3 kills. That's disappointing. It's a good thing that he brought a spare. And so back in the C1, round 2, looking for a bit of revenge. Now, it's probably worth mentioning at this point that this is a realistic battle. It's only the replays that are allowing you to see the enemy team's markers. When Commander Wolf was actually playing this, he could not see the enemy team's markers at all. Now, the second thing I want you to look at is the map itself. You'll notice the A-cap is only just starting to get decapped now, with the last of its defenders being wiped out. The B-cap is still under control with C-cap in the enemy's hands. But the last of Commander Wolf's teammates that were outside of the spawn areas, or at his position currently, have just been killed between A and C. Commander Wolf's team hasn't been holding the cap circles because they've been putting up a stellar defense, really keeping those cap circles safe. They've been holding those cap circles just because the enemy team hasn't been pushing on them up until now. The enemy team's goal has been to push the entirety of Commander Wolf's team back down into the spawn circles so they can spawn camp them to death. And they're doing a pretty damn good job of it overall. So at the moment, outside of one lonely tank destroyer south of B who's just been intercepted by an enemy tank, everybody else on the southern spawn point is currently trapped and under fire inside of the spawn. This leaves Commander Wolf and his couple of mates that he's got following him at the moment the only really effective force that his team has outside of the spawn points at this point, and he is trying to push into A. Now, if they can take A back, they may be able to force the enemy to back off from the spawns. However, there is a lot of risk. At this point, the enemy team basically has free reign across the entirety of the map. And with no spotters up, they could be pretty much anywhere, as demonstrated by this sneaky Abrams coming in from the rear, and Commander gets really, really lucky here, fires a shot, Abrams down, ZU-23 has also taken a hit, it's down. And we've got another sneaky Abrams coming around the corner. Perfect side shot and another Abrams eliminated. So back it around to try and move into the A-cap, and there's another Abrams. They're just everywhere. And so Commander Wolf brings out the last vehicle in his lineup for this match. This is the Centauro. Obviously a wheeled tank destroyer, 105mm main gun, does get access to the DM33 around as well, but it's only the 105mm version with 408mm of penetration as standard. Now that's nothing to sneeze at, of course. What's really impressive about this particular tank destroyer is the speed. 110 kilometers an hour on hardened terrain at optimal, and it can get up to around 80 kilometers an hour on even rough terrain, providing you're on the flats. And Commander Wolf is about to do himself, or almost do himself, a disservice. Comes around the corner, and there's a T-80B. Commander Wolf doesn't spot it straight away, brings the gun around, noticing it at last second. Thankfully, it was looking the wrong direction as well. Snapshot, manages to save himself. I think it's safe to say that neither one of them actually expected the other to be there. But we add another kill to the scoreboard and we keep rolling. Now, one of the interesting things to talk about with this particular machine is the armor. Now, being a wheeled tank destroyer, it's obviously very light, it's only around 25 tons, it has no traditional armor, but it also has no composites. But what it does have is explosive reactive armor blocks on the sides of the turret and the sides of the hull. This means that while this is only a 25-ton tank destroyer and it's incredibly light and incredibly fast, and incredibly lucky to have spotted the M42 that's just about to pass by, one shot straight through the lower hull, and open up with the MGs. 7.62s finish the job, but we have another target down the road. T-64B, unlucky hit to the turret, forces the commander to back off for the moment while he gets his crew sorted out. And while he's at it, rather than popping up at the same spot again, bring it back around this side of the debris, giving the gun time to get itself back activated. Swing it around. There it is, T-64 straight through the front plate as it dipped down going over the hills, and another kill to the tally. But anyways, as I was saying, the ERA, in terms of kinetic protection, it only adds 30mm, which at this battle rating is nothing. But it adds 300 for chemical, which is obviously your high explosive rounds, your heat rounds, and your HESH rounds. It's not going to stop a Leopard 2 or an Abrams one-shotting you if they get around your sides, but some of the lower level tanks that you will encounter that are still lobbing heat FS around, the ERA can save your ass in those situations. And so even after all the talking we've done at this point, not a huge amount has changed for the team. Commander Wolfie's spider sense went tingling, he spotted a tank hidden around the corner lying in ambush, just trying to work and jockey an angle for it, but first things first. One shot down range, take out the ZSU. Boom, impact on the hull. Bloody lucky the ERA saved his ass there. Takes a hit to the nose, and that disables him. Gets a return shot off, disables the gun breach in the T-80, so the T-80 is now desperately trying to repair its gun. Commander Wolfie is trying to reload his. Who's going to get their weapon up first? And of course it's Commander Wolfie straight through the front plate. And that's another T-80 bagged, with the kills now up to 11. And as you can see on the map, he is still the only person that is really roaming. As far as the team has managed to progress in all this time since the last time we discussed the map, one of them has managed to make their way to B and reclaim it. Everybody else is still sitting on the outskirts of the spawn, and the enemy team is just sitting there holding them in place. And it's absolutely not the first time that I've seen this particular tactic used by a team, ignoring the cap points and pushing the enemy back into their spawn before sending one vehicle back to take the cap points once the enemy is isolated. At that point, all you've got to do is hold them there. Thankfully, Commander Wolf's push seems to have gotten his team's brave pants on, and they're going to make a play for A. So, with the freshly repaired engine, we are off once again to see whether or not we can find a couple more kills. However, at this point, there's not much that Wolf can do besides punish the enemy for the win. Sudden Object 906, handbrake into snapshot, and straight through the front. That's kill number 12. And Commander Wolf has got eyes on the T-80U at the end of the road as well. Now he's going to confirm the target is still alive with a quick burst of MG before putting one straight through the side. Unfortunately, no one-shot kill. Got to wait for the reload to finish it off. The T-80 is trying to drag its gun around, but it's pretty knackered at this point. And there's the execution shot for kill number 13. And while the team most certainly did get their brave pants on and start pushing hard into A to try and take it back, that was the end of the match. So, the results for this match, and obviously this one was a loss, but 13 enemy kills, 1 assist, 13 critical hits, 25 hits total. Commander Wolf scored more kills than the rest of his entire team combined, and solo scored more kills than the top 5 players on the enemy team combined at the same time. And despite this absolutely amazing showing, it still wasn't enough to inspire his team to push out of the spawn zones and get into those cap circles before it was too late to actually do anything about the match. So, Commander Wolf, my condolences for your loss, but thank you very much for giving us a look at the top-end Italian vehicles. As I said at the start of this video, I really do think these machines are underrated, and I think Commander Wolf just did a very good job of demonstrating exactly how dangerous these little Italian machines can be in the right hands. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for all of my social media junk, as well as my new Teespring store. Check out the designs there, and until next time, remember to click that like button if you did, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and as always, drive smart, drive safe, and I'll catch you on the battlefield.